Can we really connect
If
with
you have clicked
God?
onto this
And
video,
is
I am
God
sure
even
that this
real?
video is for you. I do believe with my whole heart that if you can sit for the 10 minutes long that this video is, I do believe with my whole heart that this video and the words and the message that I'm about to say can be life-changing. I want to start it out like this. We are on day 10 of 21 days of New Year, New Me. So if you started any sort of New Year's resolution, this is for you. If you have just randomly clicked onto this is for you. I promise you. I want to start out with the big question. The big question I think that goes through a lot of people's minds at some point in time in their life is there a God? Is there a God? And if there is a God, is he a good God? Is he active? Does he still do miracles? And don't click me off if you've heard God and you're not a believer. I have not always been a believer. Over 4 years, I just did this life on my own. And finally, as God would have it, he kind of snagged me. And my goal, you guys, is to bring the reality of God into your life, whether you believe in him or not, okay? You have to be able to be mature enough, open minded enough to just go, could there be more to this life than what I can see with my own eyes? And my goal is to, number one, get into that Bible and break down that Bible to help people see that everything in that Bible, it's literally like a handbook for life. It's a gift that God has given us. So we can try to figure out how to live with peace and with joy and with strength and with discernment and gratitude and forgiveness. And so I'm on day 10. I've done 9 other videos and we're tapping into real life things. I've gone over anxiety. I've gone over joy. I've gone over peace. Today, I want to tap into, if there is a God, how do you connect with God? How do you get on the same playing field as God? How do you get the blessings of God? And I can tell you right now, it's prayer, okay? It's prayer is what it is. And I'm going to go through what God says about prayer. Normally, I have a whole list of the Bible verses and where they're at, and I'm not going to rattle those off like I normally do today. I'll put them down below, but I'm going to give you a gist of what the Bible says about prayer. Number one, God says this. God says, go into your room and close the door when you're talking to me. And why does God say that? Number one, God says, I want a relationship with you. I want a personal, intimate relationship with you. And the only way that you're ever going to get personal and intimate with anybody is if you get alone with them. God says there's too much distraction, there's too much noise, there's too many thoughts going on in your brain, there's too many situations that you're trying to control and deal with. There's too many scars from your past that make you so you can't even see things clearly. This world is a mess. He says, so go into your room, close the door, and just talk to me. That's number one. That's the biggest part of it. Pretend your body is a cell phone and God and prayer is a charger or is the outlet. You got to plug into that. But you can't do it with all the noise of the world. You got to get quiet. He wants to get alone and intimate with you. That's number one. Another thing God says, go into your room and pray quietly, because that's how you're going to have a moment to just cancel out the world. And that's how you're going to get a quiet moment. So maybe, just maybe, God will give you a little nudge. He'll give you a little peace. He'll give you a little joy. He'll give you a little discernment. He'll give you a little word and guidance to help you get through your day. Remember, God wrote the story. Whether you believe that or not, if you've never walked with God, my challenge is follow me for 21 days while we follow Jesus. Follow me for the next 21 days while we get to know Jesus and we get to know what this Bible says and see if any part of what I'm saying to you could possibly sort of line up and make sense to you. Okay, number one, he says, go into your room. Nobody needs to know what you're doing, okay? Nobody needs to know. You and God, that's it. He just wants a relationship with you. Number two, he says, pray without ceasing. He says, talk to me all the time. He says, you're going to have a million things coming in your phone, a million things coming in your email, a million things coming through your television, a million things coming in at work and with your spouse and with your kids and with your friends and with your thoughts. And he says, it's because I know this world is just bombarding you all day, every day with things you've got to control, things you've got to take care of, things you've got to worry about, things you've got to stress about. God says, pray without ceasing. He says, keep your mind on me. Take your thoughts captive is another one. Take your thoughts captive and make them obedient to Christ. And if you don't know God right now, this is my little tip to you. When you take your thoughts captive and make them obedient to Christ, all you're doing is going, God, help me. Help me Show me, guide me, open my eyes, open my ears, open my heart. Show me things that I don't even know about myself, God. Show me. God says, I'm a lamp to your feet, I'm a light to your path. What do you think about a lamp? You know, with a lamp, if there's no other light around you, the lamp to your feet, that literally is going to show you one step in front of the other. With God, you don't get to see the whole picture. Without God, you don't get to see the whole picture. So he says, if you come to me and you go into your room and you talk to me and you listen to me and you read about me and you get to know me and you pray without ceasing and you keep on trying to just bring your thoughts back to me and you try to grab a hold of all these thoughts that are coming in, because there's so many of them, it's hard to make sense sometimes, and you just try to make them obedient to me. And if you're new at this, your obedience is just, help me, God. Help me, God, and show me, God. And you do it with a humble heart. This is why Jesus told the disciples, he said, this is how you pray. He says, talk to Father. Say, Father, give me my daily bread. Bring heaven down to earth. Another Bible verse is this: his mercies are new every morning. He says, today is the day that the Lord has created, and I'm going to be glad. And I'm going to rejoice in it. And I'm going to take my thoughts captive. And I'm going to pray without ceasing. I'm going to start my day quiet with God, intimate, because he just whispers. You know why God whispers? You know why he wants the door closed? Because he wants closeness to you. He wants to know you, and he wants you to know him. He says this: take all your thoughts captives. Give us our daily bread. His mercies are new every day. That means whatever happened yesterday, it might have been bad. Might have been scary, might have been horrible. You might still be dealing with it right now, but God says, if you come to me, if you talk with me, if you get to know me, if you wrap your thoughts around me, if you trust me to guide you, he goes, I give new mercies every single day. And lots of times, you guys, we're so busy looking at our life like it's a burden. My work, it's a burden. Ugh, my spouse, he just won't change. It's a burden. Oh, these kids, if they would just do what I say, it's a burden. Oh, these scars and these things and these terrible things that have happened to me in the past, they're just burdens that I carry. And the anxiety and the worry of the future, it's a burden. That's when you're doing life without God. When you're walking with God, you guys, he has a way of getting inside of you and turning those burdens into blessings. It's like that spouse of yours, you're not seeing them right because you're not seeing them with my eyes. Because that job of yours, that brings in a paycheck, that puts food on your table. And yeah, there's a lot of annoying things about that. But if you start talking and walking with me, he goes, I'm going to give you a different set of eyes to see that. Your scars, all that crud from the past that happened to you and that just left marks on you that you can't shake off and then you can't forgive. God says, if you give them to me, if you talk to me about him, he goes, I'm going to transform you. I'm going to make you a new creation. I'm going to show you how to climb up and out of those scars. Those things in the future that you cannot control, that you're worried about, what's going to happen here and what's going to happen there. God says, I've got you. I've already got the plan written. And if you talk with me and if you walk with me and if you get to know me, he says, I'm going to guide you. I'm going to speak to you in those quiet moments when you're in the room by yourself with God. God is more interested. A lot of people go to God like he's a magic genie. I'm going to finish with this. Fix this, God. Change this, God. Give me that job, God. Give me that money, God. Show me this, show me that. A lot of people are wanting their life to be changed by God and their situations to be changing by God. And what God is most interested in is just your heart. Your heart and your love and your time. And he can take your questions. So today, I invite you to go on this journey with me for 21 days. Go back and watch the other videos. See if there's a possibility that anything I'm saying to you of what your life looks like right now could possibly line up with what God is trying to share with you. He can take your unbelief. Okay? If you're a non-believer, but something tugging on your heart, just making you listen to this, all you got to do is start your prayers out like this. Help me with my unbelief, God. Help me with my unbelief. He wants your honest, your humble, your open heart. You invite him in. You go, God, I'm going to give you a try. I'm going to give you a try. And he's slow. And he's kind, and he's compassionate, and he's loving, and he knows things about you that you don't even know about you. Because we're scarred, you guys, and we live in a broken world. So today, if this touched you at all, please like this. Please comment on this if you're in for the 21 days. Please share this so we can touch as many people as we can with the love of Jesus. I'll see you tomorrow with more good news from God.